Hello, hello. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Richland, New Jersey, home of the St. Augustine Prep Hermits. Today, the Hermits are coming off of a stellar win over the Malvern Prep Friars, 47-30. Junior quarterback Josh Zamat was able to have a stellar game with 2 passing touchdowns and 2 rushing as well. Watch out for junior running back Kyle Dobbins, who ran for over 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. As we're set to kick off, the Hermits are going to receive, and the Vikings of Atlantic City are going to kick. As we're at sunset here in Richland. Partly cloudy, the sun is out, and a squib kick as we get this game underway. Ball is received by number 1, Zeke Ennis, around the 30-yard line, where he will be stopped for a minimal gain. The Hermits will take over 1st and 10. Ball on their own 30-yard line. Hermits line up in a spread in the shotgun. 2 receivers to Zamat's right and 2 to his left. Xavier File, the wide out on the left. As Zamat motions the man in motion. And the runner number 5, he gains up for a gain of 9. Looks at number 9, Zeke Ennis. Number 5, Zeke Ennis on the run right there. It'll bring up a 2nd and short. Looks like a half of a yard for the Hermits. On 2nd down, Zamat fakes the handoff and he'll keep it himself. Tripped up for no gain. It will be 3rd down and 1 for the Hermits. Ball on their own 38-yard line.
Third down and 1.
Third down and 1. Hermits line up in pistol formation with 3 receivers to his left. Zamat takes the handoff to junior running back True Robinson on the play, and he is stopped in the backfield for a 2-yard loss. It will be 4th down and 3 for the Hermits.
Loss of 1 on the play. 4th down and 2.
The Hermits trying to build off their excitement over a win over perennial powerhouse Malvern Prep in Pennsylvania. As it looks like that they're going to line up to punt. Timeout is called by the referees. Atlantic City is back deep to receive as kicker number 8, Nathan Fondacaro. Punts the ball up. It's a high, deep punt. And Atlantic City waits for a fair catch. Atlantic City will take over on their own 26-yard line. Back to receive that punt was number 2, Isaiah Muhammad. The Vikings of Atlantic City line up on their own 26-yard line. Hermits show up in the 4-3 defense with 2 safeties in the back. Number 2 is Muhammad takes a snap. He's looking, scrambling, running to his left, and he runs for a 5-yard gain. Ishmael Shakoy on the keeper, the quarterback. He's tackled by a host of Hermits, led by number 34, Josh Dades.
down and 3.
It'll be a gain of 7 on the play. 2nd down and 3 for the Vikings. Corey takes the snap and hands it off to number 10 and runs around the left side, and he's going to get more than a first down. Gain of 10 or 15 on the play. Aaron Jackson on the carry. It'll bring up a gain of 17 yards on the play. It'll bring up a new set of downs and a 1st down and 10 for Atlantic City. After that 17-yard play, Atlantic City will take the ball and hands it off to the left side. But the Hermits stop him, led by number 34, Josh Dades. It'll be 2nd and 15 for the Vikings. Ball on their own 44-yard line. The Vikings of Atlantic City line up in the shotgun. 3 receivers to his right, 1 to his left. Quarterback hands it off on the end around to number 2, Isa Muhammad. And he runs for a minimal gain. Flag on the play.
Isa Muhammad on the carry. Tackle made by Xavier Pyle, but there is a penalty flag on the play. A personal foul face mask.
And it'll be a personal foul against the Hermits. It'll bring up a fresh set of downs with that penalty. So 1st and 10 from the 1st and 10 for Atlantic City. Ball on the Prep's 37-yard line. There's a 15-yard personal foul penalty, which is a mistake that the Hermits do not need to make. Lining up in the shotgun is Atlantic City. And the quarterback finds a man open downfield, but it's tightly covered by Zeke Ennis, number 5. And number 3, Nazim Berry, was down there trying to get the pass. Second down and 10 for the Vikings, and they hand it off to number 10. Runs for a minimal gain, tackled by a host of Hermits. There's number 10, Aaron Jackson on the carry. It'll bring up 3rd and 7 for the Vikings.
Gain of 1. 3rd down and 9.
The Vikings will set up in the shotgun on 3rd and 7. We have Nasir Morgan and Jackson set up on the wide. There's 2 receivers to his right, 1 to his left. Takes the shotgun pass, scrambles, and finds a man open. Breaks 1 tackle. Here you go for the 30, 10. Stopped at the 5. Oh, he keeps on going for an Atlantic City touchdown. Nasim Derry on that slant pass, running it down into the end zone for a 30-yard touchdown. Poor tackling for the Hermits on that set of downs, as they're not able to bring down number 3, Nazim Derry. Atlantic City will now line up for the extra point. Kicking will be number 5, Azim Baker-Coley. Bobbled snap, but the kick is up, and it is no good. Hermits catch a break there, but after that scoring drive, it is 6-0, the Vikings over the Hermits. Hermits probably coming in today too confident off over their win over Malvern Prep last week, and probably slacking off on the defensive end. They look to take over on offense, where they hope to put more than 6 points on the board. Back deep to receive for the Hermits is number 1, Shamir Collins, number 5, Zeke Ennis, and number 29, Jared Lawson. Okay. It is a squib kick, and the Hermits will picked up by number 6, Quinn Dolan. And the Hermits will take over on their own 46-yard line. 1st and 10 for Zermatt and this Hermit offense. Very explosive, as on their first offensive series last week against Malvern, True Robinson opened up for a long touchdown run. Zermatt on this set of downs, 1st and 10, throws right out to Dobbins on the right side for looking like a 1-yard to 2-yard loss, as Atlantic City swarmed around him, led by number 6, Jabril Sakur. It will be 2nd and 11 for the Hermits. Ball on their own 45-yard line. Zermatt lines up in the shotgun, trips left. He looks back to pass. Quick dump to Dobbins on the play. It'll be a 5 to 6 yard pass play. It will set up 3rd and about 5 for the Hermits. And that tackle is made by number 4, Ahmad Jones, for the Vikings. St. Augustine trying to move the ball down the field a little bit at a time, trying to pick up a little bit of yards each play. Zermatt in the shotgun, motions his man Ennis in Ocean, fakes his handoff, back to pass downfield, looking for Dobbins, and the fans here now get the pass interference flag on Atlantic City. Let's see if this pass interference is the correct call. Apparently, it looks like an offensive penalty. The flag has now been waved off. It'll be 4th and 7 for the Hermits. So in their first 2 offensive possessions here in this game, they come up with 0 points and gain minimal yards downfield. Back to kick for the Hermits is number 8, Nathan Fonacara. It looks like there's a timeout on the field. So last week against Malvern, quarterback Josh Zermatt had a 25-yard touchdown and ran 2 passing touchdowns. One on an 83-yard pass in the first quarter to Zeke Ennis, and in the third quarter he hit Xavier File on a 57-yard touchdown in the third quarter. Overall, he had 143 passing yards for 3 of 9, and then he rushed for 78 yards on 10 carries, including 2 touchdowns, one of at least 25 yards. Back deep to receive the ball for the Vikings is number 2, Issa Muhammad. And it would be a fake punt. It would be a fake punt run for the Hermits, and it is unsuccessful as Zeke Ennis runs for a game of 6, and he's unable to pick up the first down. The Vikings will now take over 1st and 10 Ball on their own 46-yard line.
The Vikings will take over on down. First down and 10 for the Vikings at their own 36-yard line.
It was not tried to be tricky on that play, but the trick ended up costing them in the long run. Atlantic City takes over on downs. Quarterback Ismail Sakur in the shotgun. Drops back, had 3 receivers to his right, loads it downfield, and this ball is incomplete. The pass intended for number 3, Nazim Derry. Good defense on the play over there by the Hermits. Second and 10 for the Vikings, as the Hermits came up with a stellar defensive play that last play. The quarterback swing passes out. Number 20, Ismail Sakur, passes out to number 2, Isa Muhammad. And the pass is incomplete. It'll bring up 3rd down and 10 for the Vikings. On a day that started out as 101 degrees is now cooled as we feel a few breezes here and there here on this cool September night here in Richland. Atlantic City back in the shotgun once again. Sakur rolls out to his right, throws it out towards the middle, and is almost intercepted by number 5, Zeke Ennis. Great defensive play, as that pass was intended for number 3, Nazim Berry of the Vikings. It'll be a 4th down and 10 for the Vikings. And the referees want to call timeout for an injury timeout. Looks like Shamir Collins was shaken up on the play. Looks like Collins is going to be roughly okay. He's trying to get to his feet as head coach Mark Reardon is standing right by his side with the athletic training staff. Head by athletic trainer Matthew Pina. Shamir Collins is going to be able to get up and walk off the field on his own 2 feet. Probably just shaken up on the play. It'll bring up 4th down for the Atlantic City Vikings. Back deep to receive for the Hermits, number 29, junior running back Kyle Dobbins. Kicking for the Vikings is number 43, Isaiah Whaley. Is a high punt, but Dobbins allows it to roll down to the 18-yard line, where the Hermits will now take over on their 3rd offensive possession. 1st and 10, ball on their 18-yard line. The score is 5 minutes, with 5:11 left in the first quarter. It is 6-0 Vikings on that 36-yard touchdown to Nazim Berry early in the first quarter. I'm going to try to put up a productive drive for the Hermits. They should probably gain some positive yards instead of incomplete passes and runs for behind the line of scrimmage. Zamat takes the ball and hands it off to Dobbins off the right side. He has a gain of 10 and more for a gain of 12. Nice run on the play there by Dobbins. He'll bring up a first down and 10 on a fresh set of downs for the Hermits. Ball on the 32-yard line. And we have another injury timeout here on the play. We will have an injury timeout on the play. You're here watching the St. Augustine Prep Hermits YouTube stream. We now resume play. It'll be a fresh set of downs for the Hermits as Zamat lines up in the shotgun. Hands the ball off to Dobbins again up the middle. And he's stopped for a very minimum gain. Looks like he gained nothing on the, maybe a yard on the play. It'll be 2nd and 9 for the Hermits. And tackled by number 9, Nashand Austin of the Vikings. The Hermits now line up in the shotgun again. 2 receivers to his left and Dobbins in his backfield. Dobbins takes the handoff, runs around the left side for another minimal gain. The Vikings there they're anticipating the rush, and it will be a 3rd and about 8 for the Hermits. Zamat takes the handoff, fakes the handoff, looks to scramble to the left side, running down the field, and it looks like he will be close to a Hermit first down. And will he have enough for the first? Looks like the referees want to bring out the chain crew for a measurement. And here we're live here on the Hermits TV YouTube stream. I am your play-by-play announcer, Dave Jarman. As the chain crew comes out, looks like Zamat was able to avoid some pressure in the backfield and able to scramble around and use his speed to try to get this first down. Regardless whether if he makes it or not, the Hermits will most likely go for it as they're trying to get some momentum going here in this first quarter. And it looks like they do. Zamat squeezed the pigskin out just enough to get another first down. Bringing up a fresh set of downs for the Hermits. 1st and 10, ball on their own 41-yard line. Zamat lining up in the pistol formation with Dobbins behind him and his 2 receivers to his right, Xavier File on the far side. Fakes the handoff to Dobbins, throws it downfield to his tight end, and it is caught to number 34, Josh Dades. The nice pass play, the good old pick and pop right downfield down to the Atlantic City 30-yard line. Good for a 22-yard pass play for Dobbins and this Hermit offense. Zamat lines up in the pistol again to the right with Zeke Ennis on the inside, the receiver, Xavier File on the outside. Fakes his handoff. Looks downfield. Looking for Ennis. In the end zone. Touchdown, Hermits. Zeke Ennis, number 5, using his amazing blazing speed. And Zamat put a perfect spiral on that pass, making his pass look effortlessly. Score now tied at 6 as the Hermits await this extra point by Nate Fanacaro. Fanacaro's kick is through the uprights and good. And after this extra point is the score. Your St. Augustine Prep Hermits 7 and the Vikings of Atlantic City 6. We'll be back after this short intermission. After that scoring drive, the Hermits will be set to kick off. Fanacaro will kick off to the Vikings. Deep for Atlantic City, number 6, Jabril Sakur. And number 8, Michael Preston. Preston takes this ball and runs it up to the 20, 25, and a big hit by number 9, Jalen Dakota. Dakota on that stick fuels this Richland crowd as the Hermits will go on defense and the Vikings will take over. 1st and 10, ball on their own 18-yard line. 3 minutes and 3 seconds left in this first quarter. What a great way to answer after this touchdown drive. Put the stick on the away team and make them try to work downfield for another score. Sakur sets up in the shotgun with Sakur to his right. Number 3, Nazim Berry, the far receiver to his right. As Atlantic City calls a timeout. And we'll be right back after their timeout. Atlantic City comes out of their timeout, lined up in the shotgun. Number 4, Ahmad Jones in the backfield, and a swing pass out to Nazir Berry. He runs for a minimal gain, for a gain of 5 on that swing pass. It'll bring up 2nd down and 5, or a little bit more. 2nd down and 3 for the Vikings. Tackle by number 3, Xavier File. It'll be 2nd down and 2 for the Vikings on a swing pass for a gain of 8. And we're going to have official measurement here on the field. Back after this. And after the measurement, looks like the Vikings are going to be short. 2nd down and 10 for the Vikings. Ball on their own 26-yard line. Cool sunny day here in Richland. Great night for football. The Vikings line up in the shotgun, trying to get this first down. Secure with his running back, number 6, Secure, right next to him on the right. Number 20, Ismail Secure at quarterback. And Jabril Secure lined up to his left. Two receivers out to his left, one to his right. Ishmael Secure hands it off to Jabril Secure. It looks like Jabril Secure is going to have enough for a Viking first down and move the chains. Tackle by a host of Hermits on the play. 2:51 remaining in this first quarter. Score 7-6, Hermits. You are watching the Hermits Athletics YouTube stream, and I'm your play-by-play announcer, Dave Jarman. So Ismail Secure will line up in the shotgun again. One receiver to his left, 3 to his right, trips right on the play, and hands it off to Jabril Secure. Jabril Secure will have a minimum gain on that play. Tackle by a host of Hermits. Joseph Vonchek there on the tackle. And it'll bring up a 2nd down and 9 here for the Atlantic City Vikings. The Vikings line up in shotgun again. Looks like trips right again once in their formation with the lone receiver to the left. Secure hands it off to his running back, number 10, Aaron Johnson. He will have more than a first down on a gain of 13 on the play. Nice run there by number 10, Aaron Jackson. It'll bring up a first down and more as the Vikings will continue this drive on their own 44-yard line.
Gain of 15. Good enough for Atlantic City first down and 10 for the Vikings at their own 44.
Hermit's making some substitutions in here and right now, trying to get some fresh bodies out on the field. As the Vikings take over in shotgun once again, they'll fake the handoff, and his pass is intercepted. And running down the sideline and in for the touchdown is number 23, Sean Malern. Sean Mulhern there, anticipating that swing pass, and runs it into the house for a Hermit touchdown. Great anticipation by Mulhern on the play. That'll get the fans excited now. Fonacara lines up for the extra point. Kick is up, and it is good. So with that pick 6, it makes the score the St. Augustine Prep Hermits 14. And the Vikings of Atlantic City 6. Back here in a moment. Jabril Shakur back to receive for Atlantic City. And the Hermits trying to build momentum off of their pick 6. Ball is a high, deep kick. It looks like Shakur will field the ball at his own 5. Runs up to the 10, up to the 15, to the 20. And it will be stopped at his own 24-yard line. Where after that previous turnover, the Vikings would take over. 1st and 10 on a fresh set of downs.
21-yard line, where the Vikings will take over, 1st down and 10.
What started out to be a sluggish first quarter for the Hermits, they were able to capitalize on their 3rd offensive drive and answered right back on the defensive end with an interception for the touchdown by Nick Mulhern. The Vikings will line up in shotgun again, with quarterback Ishmael Shakur in the backfield and having one running back to his right. Hands that ball off to, and it will be stopped by number 34, Josh Dades. Came in right in there with the penetration to get the ball get the ball carrier in the backfield. It was number 10, Aaron Jackson, on the carry. It will be 2nd down and 11 after that 1-yard loss. Atlantic City lining up with one receiver to the quarterback's left and trips to his right. Looks like a swing pass, screen pass out to number 2, Isima Muhammad. And he's stopped for a minimum gain after a gain of 4. It'll be 3rd down and 8 for the Atlantic City Vikings. 37 seconds and running here in this first quarter. Score is 14-6 Hermits. Hermits showing blitz up here. As Atlantic City lines up in the shotgun, Shakur has his pass deflected, intended for number 3, Nazim Berry. It'll bring up 4th down. 4th down for the Hermits. 4th and 8. And back deep to receive for the Hermits will be number 1, Shamir Collins. Looks like he's back and ready to go after that little injury earlier in this first quarter. Atlantic City punts the ball. It's a high skying punt. Collins is going to let this roll. He touches it and decides to run at his own 45, 150. And right around the 48-yard line, what looked like he was going to gain some speed, but he's stopped by a host of Vikings. With 11 seconds left in this first quarter, the Hermits will take over on downs at their own 47-yard line. Great defensive series there for the Prep as they're now trying to get the ball back and put up another score so they can get out here with a victory. Zamat lines up in the shotgun with trips right. Xavier File, the wide far receiver, Ennis is near receiver in the slot. Ennis takes the ball from his pass from Zamat, and it's a 9-yard pass play on that play. And that'll end the first quarter. The 9-yard pass play to Zeke Ennis ends this first quarter with your score, the Hermits of St. Augustine Prep 14 and the Vikings of Atlantic City 6. Looks like he ran out of bounds, and there will be 3 more seconds left in this first quarter. And the referee throws a late flag for a holding penalty on the offense. The clock will continue to run down, and now it'll be the end of the first quarter. With your score, the Vikings of Atlantic City 6, and the home team, the Hermits of St. Augustine Prep 14. They will run an untimed down, it looks like, as Zamat's pass is back to pass, looking downfield for Ennis. He can't find him, so he scrambles to his left, and he is tackled for a 1-yard loss. It looks like it'll be second down and 17 as we now, for the third time, go to the end of the first quarter. I'm Dave Jarman, your play-by-play announcer, and we will be right back after this short intermission break. Welcome back here to Richland, New Jersey, as the Hermits take over. Zamat fakes a pass, looks deep down for his target Ennis, and it is caught for a 40-yard pass play. Ennis showing his speed on that pass play with the streak route. Zamat putting a perfect ball only where Ennis could catch it. The tackle was eventually made by Austin of the Vikings. A 53-yard pass play will bring up first and goal for the Hermits. Ball on the Vikings' 8-yard line. Zamat lines up in the pistol with Xavier File, his far receiver to his left. Dobbins, the running back, sends a man in motion. Zamat hands the ball off to Dobbins, runs down the left side, and it looks like he is in for a touchdown, but there is a flag on the play. Let's see where this flag is. The great ability of this explosive offense allows the tempo to move up quickly and allows the prep to execute what they want to do on offense. That's one of the reasons why they were able to get a substantial lead and ultimately win against the Friars last Friday. And this 15-yard holding penalty will cost the Hermits. It'll bring up a first and goal, ball on their own 29-yard line. Costly mistake right there. Trips left, lends to the pistol again left, but hands the ball to Zamat, hands the ball to Dobbins on the right side for a gain of about 10. The ball would be placed on the 17-yard line or 14-yard line of the Vikings. Second and goal from the 14 after Dobbins' carry. Zamat lined up in the shotgun again. The Hermits will have trips left. Xavier File, the slot receiver on the inside. Zamat is pass to number 3, Xavier File. And it will be a minimum gain, a gain of about 2. It will be 3rd and goal for the Hermits. A ball on their own 12, on the Vikings 12-yard line. Look for an explosive pass play here for the Hermits, as they should probably try to do an out route to their tight end or a post route to one of their receivers. Zamat lined up in the huddle, tells the offense to play, and they line up. We'll have one receiver split out wide to his right. Actually, it looks like it'll be Tripp's right, with Dobbins the lone setback in the backfield. Zamat takes a snap in the shotgun, rolls right, finds a target in the end zone, and the ball was bobbled and incomplete. Xavier File had his hands on the ball. It looked like he was going to catch it, but couldn't secure it. It'll be a 4th and goal for the Hermits. Costly play right there. Xavier File making an excellent effort to try and catch the ball, but ultimately it looked like he had butterfingers on that play. Fourth and goal. Instead of kicking the field goal, Coach Mark Reardon is aggressive and will decide to go for it on 4th and goal. Ball on the Atlantic City Viking 12-yard line. 9:57 left in this second quarter. As Tripp's right is the formation again. Zamat takes this pass, fakes the handoff to Dobbins, and is surrounded by Vikings, but he's going to scramble, and looks like he will be in the end zone for a Hermit touchdown. Nice way for Zamat to use his feet and scramble into the end zone, avoiding pass rushers in his backfield. Instead of throwing the ball, he used his feet to decide to run, and it ends up in positive points and 6 for the Hermits as Nick Fanicaro lines up for his 3rd extra point. Number 7, Tim Jurisic, the holder. Ball spotted, the kick is away, and the kick is good. Fanicaro's 3 for 3 in his extra points. And with that scramble by Zamat, the score, your St. Augustine Prep Hermits, 21. And the Vikings of Atlantic City, 6. We will be back after this short intermission. We're back live here in Richland after the St. Augustine Prep Josh Zamat score. Fanicaro's kick is high and deep. Received by the Vikings by number 9. And he will have a minimal gain up to their own 18-yard line. That'll be received by number 9, Nashond Austin. Atlantic City will take over on a fresh set of downs on their own 18-yard line. After that 53-yard pass play to Zeke Ennis by Josh Zamat. Zamat ultimately capitalizes on a scramble and runs it in for a 12-yard touchdown. Should have been completed sooner if you look at the bobble by Xavier File in the end zone on third down, and that holding penalty in first and goal cost them. It'll be first and 10. The quarterback keeper on the left side is Ismail Sakur, and he runs for what looks to be a 7-yard gain. It'll be second down and 6-yard gain. It'll be second down and 4 or 7-yard gain. Second down and 3 for the Vikings.
Gain of 7, second down and 3.
Atlantic City lined up in the shotgun. Three receivers to his right, one to his left, and the handoff is to number 6, Jabril Sakur, and he's stopped by a host of Hermits. For a minimal gain, it'll be third down and 2 for the Vikings. The Vikings like to run out of this shotgun and try to use some up-tempo. But after their first touchdown drive in the first quarter, they have been unable to capitalize here on offense. Lined up in the shotgun again is Atlantic City. Halfback behind him and a halfback to the quarterback's right. No receivers to his right and 2 to his left. There's a penalty flag on the play. It looks like there's movement up front. Let's see if this call will be on the Vikings. It'll be a false start against Atlantic City, which will push them back 5 yards. It'll be third down and 8 for the Hermits. Bringing the ball back to the 23-yard line of Atlantic City. Third down and 6. 8:17 are running here in this first quarter as the Atlantic City lined up in the shotgun again with 2 receivers to his left, and it'll be a handoff pitch to the right for number 10, Aaron Jackson. And Jackson looks like we'll have a loss on that play. It'll be a 2-yard loss. It'll be 4th and 8 for the Vikings. Tackled there by number 5, Zeke Ennis. Ennis has been all over the field today with his long 53-yard completion, and now this previous tackle. Atlantic City lines up to punt again. Back deep for the Hermits is number 1, Shamir Collins. High snap. Ball is punted low, high, but not very far. It bounces around the 30-yard line, which is in favorable field position for the Hermits. The Prep will take over first and 10 with 7:19 left in this second quarter. They have the lead 21-6 here on their home turf. Let's see if the Hermits can try to capitalize and break this game wide open, extending their lead to more than what it is already. Zmat will look like he will line up in trips right. Dobbins, his lone setback in the backfield. Xavier File, the slot receiver, followed by, to his right, Zeke Ennis. Zeke Ennis steps back for his screen pass. Ennis runs up the field for the 30, the 20, the 10, the 5. Touchdown, Hermits. Zeke Ennis, his number will be called a lot today, and it has showed that much already. Zeke Ennis for a 28-yard score and extends this lead 21-6 with an extra point remaining. Holding for the Hermits, number 7, Tim Jurisic. Ball is spotted, snap down, and the kick is up and good. Fanacaro is 4 for 4. Oh, no good. Excuse me. Fanacaro is now 3 for 4 for his extra points. But with that, Zeke and his score. Your Hermits, 27. And the Vikings of Atlantic City, 6. We'll be back after this short break. And we're back live here from Richland. I'm your play-by-play announcer, Dave Jarman. You're watching the YouTube Hermits athletic stream, where the Prep is taking a commanding 27-6 lead over Atlantic City. As it is, Fonacaro's kick is high and into the end zone for a touchback. The Vikings would take over on their own 20-yard line, 1st and 10, with 7 minutes and 10 seconds left in this second quarter. If you're St. Augustine Prep at this point, you want to keep up the defensive pressure and show why you are one of the dominant teams in New Jersey. According to the power rankings, I believe they're number 1 amongst the power New Jersey schools. Again, that's probably just for South Jersey. As the Vikings take over, Secure swing pass out to number 8, Michael Preston. The swing pass will be of about 4 yards. So the Vikings would take over 2nd and 6. Ball on their own 23-yard line. Tackled by Nick Guswick of the Hermits. This is some of the background noise. We have people in this booth swatting away the wasps so no one gets stung. We have a sideline warning penalty against Atlantic City. Either ruckus from the coaching staff, the players. I don't think the fans. They've been pretty quiet over there. After that minor penalty, it'll be 2nd and 6 or 7 for the Vikings. Lined up in shotgun and 3 receivers to his left. Fakes the pass, fakes a screen pass. Looks like it'll be another easy interception. Complete. An interception by number 1, Shamir Collins. Looks like the injury that he suffered in the first quarter is not bothering him anymore. With that interception, the Hermits will take over. 1st and 10, ball on the Viking 39-yard line. At the time, the receiver was probably behind Shamir Collins, as he was able to anticipate, jump up in the air, and make that catch look very easy. Zamat lines up in with trips left with Dobbins, his lone setback in the backfield to his right. He hands the ball off to Dobbins on the left side for about a 4-yard gain. A little tough run there for Dobbins on the carry. It'll bring up 2nd and 8 for the Hermits. Pardon me. Zamat in this up-tempo offense, making things look easy, simple, and the players are just loving the way this offense is running. Zamat will now have 3 receivers to his right and Dobbins, his lone setback in his backfield. Zamat hands the ball off to Dobbins on the right side again. Zamat carries up for more than 8, looks up for a gain of about 10 on the play. And it'll bring up a fresh set of downs for the Hermits. Excuse me, looks like he was short. Gain of 7 yards on that play. It'll bring up a 3rd and 1 for the Hermits. Three receivers to his right. Xavier File, the nearest one. And it looks like Dobbins will get the ball on the carry. Runs the ball on the right side, and he'll have more than enough for the first down. Runs down to the 18-yard line. But the men in stripes did throw a flag on the play. It looks like it'll be a holding penalty against the Hermits. So that 15-yard penalty would draw them back to what looked like was a 3rd and 3 will now be a 3rd and 6. After what looked like to be a first down run for Dobbins. Zamat lining up in the shotgun again. 3 receivers to his left. Xavier File on the inside. Number 9, the receiver in the middle. And Dobbins runs up the middle again with a booming hit. Looks like he will pick up more than enough for his first down. Dobbins, tough run on that carry, putting the team on his back and moving the chains. With that 12-yard run, it'll bring up a new fresh set of downs for the Hermits. 4 minutes, 30 seconds in running here in this first quarter with a 27-6 prep lead. Zamat lines up in the shotgun with trips left. Dobbins, the running back in the backfield. He takes his handoff, runs off the right tackle, and when he is stopped by a host of Vikings, that is not after a 3 or 4 yard pickup. It'll be 2nd down and 6 for the Hermits as they continue to drive downfield. Zamat lines up in the shotgun with Dobbins and behind him. Trips left. Xavier File, the inside receiver. Swing pass out to number 9. Jalen Dakota. And it looks like he picks up another Hermit first down. Hermits moving the chains more than once on this drive, looking to capitalize on another score. And they are threatening. Looks like there is an injury by the Vikings on the field, and we will take this injury timeout. You're listening to the Hermits YouTube stream. We bring you back live to Hermits football as the Hermits take over 1st and goal, ball on their own on the Viking 10-yard line. Zamat lines up in the backfield with trips to his right, and Dobbins takes the handoff, and he will run in for a 10-yard score. The line doing a good job up front, pushing the Viking defenders back into the woods, and Dobbins makes that touchdown run look easy. Fonicaro lines up for his extra point where he unfortunately missed his last one. He is 3 for 4, hoping to make it 4 for 5. Ball spotted, the kick is away, and the kick is off the left post and no good. Frustrated as he unbuckles one of his chin straps as Fonicaro. But with that Dobbins score, that touchdown run, it makes the score your St. Augustine Prep Hermits 33. And the Vikings of Atlantic City, their lonely 6 points that was scored earlier in the first quarter. We will be right back. You're listening to Hermits football on the Athletic Stream. Fonicaro set to kick off after a Kyle Dobbins 10-yard touchdown scamper. Fonicaro is set to kick off deep for the Vikings is number 8, Michael Preston. And Fonicaro's kick is deep enough for a touchback. So with 3:18 left in this first quarter, the Vikings will take over, trying to get something productive on offense. Hermits forcing 2 turnovers here in this first half. One for a pick six by number 23, Sean Mulhern. And then Shamir Collins' pick was able to set up a touchdown for Kyle Dobbins. As Atlantic City lined up in shotgun on the previous play, the handoff to number 8, Michael Preston. And it will be a minimal gain of about 1 for the Vikings. It'll bring up 2nd and 9 here in the second quarter. 3 minutes and running. The Vikings line up in shotgun. Trips right. One lone receiver to his left is number 3, Nazim Berry. Sakur lines up in the backfield. Hands the ball off to number 10, Aaron Jackson. And Jackson runs for what looks like to be a 6-yard gain. And with the big stick by number 3, Xavier File. But not after Jackson will pick up enough yards for a fresh set of downs for the Vikings. 2:30 in running here in this first half. And the Vikings trying to do some damage as they're moving the chains. As Ishmael Sakur lines up in the backfield. 2 receivers to his left and 2 out to his right. Hands the ball off to Jackson again on the left side. Breaks a couple tackles and runs out of bounds for about a 3-yard gain. But there is a flag on the play. We are live after the penalty and my coughing. It looks like it'll be a holding penalty on the Atlantic City Vikings. So with that 10-yard penalty, it'll be 1st and 22 for the Vikings. You're watching Hermits football on the YouTube Athletic stream. We are live from Richland, New Jersey. 2:10 left in this first half. With your score at 33-6, the Hermits of St. Augustine Prep over the Vikings of Atlantic City. So a couple touchdown runs here by Kyle Dobbins. A couple touchdown runs, a touchdown pass to Zeke Ennis. And a touchdown scramble run by number 4 quarterback Josh Zamat. As we are breaking an Atlantic City timeout here, the Hermits are staying aggressive, forcing 2 turnovers. One, a pick six to the house by number 23, Sean Mulhern, excuse me. And then a Shamir Collins interception set up a Kyle Dobbins 10-yard touchdown to make the score 33-6. As the Vikings line up here in shotgun with Trips right and Nazim Berry to his left. Sakur fakes a pass, scrambles, and is tackled in the backfield by 2 Hermits, led by number 42 and number 32. Number 14, Dean Kolonich, and number 32, Saki Mertis.
Timeout St. Augustine, their first of the half.
We'll have a timeout on the field by St. Augustine, and we will be right back with this short intermission. We are now back live here in Richland after the St. Augustine Prep timeout. You are watching Hermits football on the YouTube athletic stream, and I am your announcer, Dave Jarman. The Vikings will set up in a shotgun formation on 2nd and 24, looking similar to a pistol formation, as one running back is lined up behind the quarterback, Sakur, and Sakur also has one running back lined up to his right, and with two receivers on his left. As the Vikings are unable to snap the ball in time, they will receive a delay of game penalty. So it'll set up a 2nd down and 29 for them. The Vikings doing everything wrong on this drive, getting tackled in the backfield and having multiple penalties to drive them back instead of forward. As the Vikings line up in the shotgun formation, he motions his receiver to his right, fakes the handoff and Sakur, dances in the backfield, and is ultimately stopped by number 44, Joseph Bonchak. Bonchak was able to be disciplined, set his feet down, and able to make the play as the quarterback, Ismail Sakur, was going nowhere. And with a timeout on the field, we will go to another intermission and a short commercial break. You're watching Hermits football on the athletic stream. We are now live back after the timeout for a 3rd and 31 for the Atlantic City Vikings. We are live in Richland, New Jersey as the lights are on, and it is just a great night for football. Sakur's attempted pass is blocked by number 44, Joe Bonchak. Bonchak with the sack and with a deflected pass. It'll bring up a 4th down and 31 for the Vikings. Great defensive set there for the Hermits, as they will now try to take over again and maybe put in another score before halftime, and possibly the 2nd and 3rd string might be able to play. Back deep for the Hermits is number 1, Shamir Collins, and number 3, Xavier File. The punt is high, shallow. Collins doesn't call for a fair catch. Fakes running left, runs to down the right sideline. He's down at the 20, the 15. Oh, and fumble! As looks like there's a scramble and a discombobulated fumblerooski into the end zone, but it looks like it might be a successful Hermit touchdown. Ruled a touchback as fans trying to hold up their hands for a touchdown. Since it was a loose ball out of the end zone, it will be a touchback. Hermit's unable to capitalize on that weird and strange exchange on the punt return. Head coach Mark Reardon is probably not happy about that play right there. And these are little mistakes that the Hermits should not make and that they weren't making last Friday night. So after the touchback, the Vikings will have the ball again with 1:17 left in this first half. So Kerr lined up in the shotgun. 2 receivers to his left and 2 receivers to his right, having a lone setback to his right. Hands the ball off to number 10, Aaron Jackson, and he is stopped by 2 Hermits in the backfield. By number 58, Garrett Goliff. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 14 for the Vikings. 54 seconds in running here in this first half. Vikings line up in shotgun again with 2 receivers to the left, 2 receivers to the right, and 1 lone running back. Looks like number 10, Aaron Jackson, in the backfield. As the quarterback tries to motion to his coaches which play to run. Clock is continuing to run. 33, 32. Kerr hands the ball, fakes the handoff off to Jackson, and keeps it himself, and is tackled in the backfield again by number 58, Garrett Dolan. $10 seconds in running, as ever since the second quarter, the Vikings have not been able to put up a positive offensive drive. And into halftime we go here in Richland. With your score, the St. Augustine Prep Hermits, 33. And the Vikings of Atlantic City, 6. We will be back after this halftime break. My name's Dave Jarman, and you're watching Hermits football on the Athletic Stream. And we are back live here in Richland. I'm your broadcaster, Dave Jarman, and you're listening to Hermits football here on the Hermits Athletic Stream. As we approach the start of the second half, the Hermits will be kicking off to the Vikings of Atlantic City. For a quick recap of the first half, it's been a lot to a little. After a rough start for the Hermits in the first quarter, they were able to get things rolling on their third offensive drive and have not held back ever since. As the Vikings will receive the ball at their own 21-yard line with Michael Preston on that return. Quarterback run touchdown for Zamat. A couple touchdowns for Zeke Ennis. A pick six for Sean Mulhern. And a Kyle Dobbins touchdown to end the first half. The Hermits, for the rest of the game, knowing that they have a substantial lead, will probably just want to play sound defense. And when they get the ball on offense, just want to keep the clock moving and give the ball back to the Vikings as little as possible. Looks like there is an injury timeout on the field, so we will pause for a break. You're listening to Hermits football on the Athletic Stream. We now resume play after the injury timeout. The Vikings set up in shotgun as the Vikings send a man in motion. Sakur swings the ball out to the right side to his receiver, number 3, Nazim Berry, for a loss of 2 or 3 on the play. It'll bring up second down and 12 for the Vikings. Beautiful Friday night here in Richland, and a great night here for some football. The Vikings was set up with 3 receivers to his right, to the quarterback's right, 1 receiver to his left, as Aaron Jackson, the running back, takes the ball up the middle for no gain, more likely than a loss than a gain. It'll bring up third down and 13 for the Vikings. Ever since that first quarter drive the Vikings had where they were able to march the ball downfield with a few screen passes and a big touchdown pass to Nazim Berry, they have just not been able to put positive yards on the offensive end. And the Hermits have capitalized. Defense has stepped up, forced a couple turnovers as Sakur takes the ball in the shotgun, slings the ball out, and it is incomplete, intended for his receiver, number 13, Nasir Morgan. It'll bring up fourth down and 13 for the Vikings. Back deep to receive is the man with the latest interception, number 1, Shamir Collins. Looks like number 43, Isaiah Whaley, will be back to punt. It is a high punt down to near the 45-yard line, and Shamir Collins is stopped and is tackled by a host of Vikings at the Atlantic City 45-yard line. Zamat will set up his offense. 1st and 10, ball on the Viking 45-yard line. Zamat lines up in the shotgun with Trips to his left. Dobbins, the lone setback in the backfield. He will have Zeke Ennis in the middle. And Zeke Ennis is set up for the screen pass. And lines up on the left side, and he gains for a positive gain for 5 yards. That play seems to be working all day for Zeke Ennis and this Hermit offense. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 4 for the Hermits as Zamat looks to be in complete control of his team. Trips right now looking in the pistol formation. Zamat hands the ball off to Dobbins up the middle. He gains up and picks up about 6 yards. And will be enough for a Hermit first down. When you look at this Hermit offense, there are multiple skill positions. Oh, it looks like it's a... Yeah, I thought so. First down. There we go.
Good enough for a St. Augustine first down and 10 for the Hermits.
Trips right again. Receivers, Xavier File on the near side.
34-yard line.
Ennis in the slot. And number 7, Tim Jurisic out wide. As Dobbins gets the ball up the middle, runs off the right tackle, and looks for a gain of about 9. Great run there by Dobbins. Oh, excuse me. It's, sophomore True Robinson there on the carry. For a gain of 8, it'll be 2nd down and 2 for the Hermits. Dobbins back in as Jurisic is out wide. Ennis in the slot. Xavier Files to the near side. Dobbins gets the carry on the left side. And looks like, as a penalty flag is drawn, looks like Dobbins had enough for the first down. But let's see what this penalty is. Looks like a face mask penalty on the Vikings.
Personal foul face mask against Atlantic City.
Let's see if this penalty will add on additional yards. And it does. Looks like a 10-yard penalty on top of the run. 15-yard penalty, excuse me. And it'll be good enough for more than a Hermit first down.
Takes the ball to the 13-yard line. Where it'll be first down and 10 for the Hermits.
Zamat lines up in the shotgun again. Lines up in the pistol. Jurisic out wide. Ennis in the slot. Xavier File to the near side. Zamat fakes the pass to Xavier File. And the pass was in the end zone, intended for Zeke Ennis, and the ball was taken out of his hands and intercepted. And running back near the 25-yard line for Atlantic City as they would take over on downs. Nice play by the Atlantic City defender right there. As soon as this pile comes up, we'll be able to identify the individual.
Josh Simone's pass is intercepted by
Jabril Sakor right there with that interception. So with new life and a fresh set of downs, Atlantic City will take over first and 10 on the 25-yard line. Zamat just taking a shot in the end zone. Zeke Ennis had the ball in his hands and just couldn't hold on to it and grasp it for control. On that interception return, there was an illegal block in the back. So it will be first and 10 for the Vikings, ball on their own 9-yard line. Hermits showing blitz on defense. As Sakura is back scrambling to his right, finds his receiver and is completed to number 4, Ahmad Jones. Ahmad Jones with a 9-yard reception. It'll bring up 2nd down and 1 for the Vikings. Hermit's defense being a little careless right now after the offense was turned the ball over. Sakura hands the ball off to his running back looks like Jones again on the carry. And with what the sticks are showing me, it looks like it'll be good enough for a Viking first down. .7:24 and running in this third quarter. First and 10 for the Vikings. Sakura sends a man in motion takes the handoff and decides to keep the ball himself for a minimal gain. 2nd down and 9 for the Vikings. Secure on a 1-yard carry. Tackled by a host of Hermits.
Gain of 1, 2nd and 9.
Atlantic City lined up in the shotgun with 2 receivers, 2 secures left. Running back behind him, and he sends a man in motion. A fumble snap. Secure decides to run back in the backfield and decides to run back near the end zone. And is it a safety? No. Close enough to a safety, but not quite. So with that fumbled snap, it'll be a huge loss for the Vikings, as they will take over on their own 1-yard line, and it'll set up a 3rd and 26. Atlantic City continuing their mistakes on offense, as nothing has gone right for them after their first quarter touchdown. So as they set up shotgun in the end zone, they hand the ball off to number 10, Aaron Jackson. Gets them maybe to the 4-yard line. But regardless, it is not enough for a Viking first down. 4th down. And about, let's give it 20. A gain of 1, so we'll set up a 4th down and 25 for the Vikings. Pardon my judgment. So number 43, Isaiah Whaley, we've seen him all day today. He will be back to punt in the end zone. Whaley's punt is high, a little deflected. Shereen Collins back there, lets the ball wobble. And it'll ultimately be downed at the 45-yard line of the Vikings. So after the interception by Zamat to Ennis, the Hermits will try to take over and try to minimize and erase that mistake that they had with an interception on their previous offensive drive. Zamat and the offense take over. 4:50 remaining in this 3rd quarter. Hermits are still up 33-6. Zamat lines up in the pistol. 3 receivers trips right, with Dobbins the lone back in the backfield. Dobbins runs the ball up the middle for a gain of about 5, and then he is stopped by a host of Vikings. Kyle Dobbins has been spectacular all day today, running the ball in between the tackles, keeping the ball secure, and earning every yard he has received. That's the kind of runner you want to have in your offense. One who protects the ball, who's a tough runner downfield, and can be able to stay in the game consistently to gain as many carries as possible. Zamat lines up in trips left. Hands the ball off to Dobbins on the right side with a hole up the middle. And he will score 10-5 touchdown for the Hermits. That looked too easy as Secure and Jackson are shaking their heads, their mouthpieces out, and they're talking to each other saying, what just happened on that play? That will be Dobbins' 2nd score of the evening. And it'll extend the Hermit lead 39-6. With 4 minutes and 5 seconds remaining in this 3rd quarter. And it looks like the Hermits are going to attempt for a 2-point conversion, since Fanacaro is 3 for 5 on his extra points. Lines up in the pistol formation to his left. Zamat decides to keep it, and he runs to the right side, pitches it. What looked like to be stopped, but he pitches it out to Kyle Dobbins, and he was unable to get the 2-point conversion. But with Dobbins' touchdown run, again, your score, 39-6, the Hermits over the Vikings. We'll be right back after this short intermission report. You're listening to Hermits Football on the Athletic Stream. After the intermission, we are live back here in Richland. 30-96 Hermits over the Vikings. Fonacaro is back to kick. It is a booming kick and looks like to be another touchback for him tonight. The Vikings would take over 1st and 10, ball on the 20-yard line. At this point, the Hermits defense couldn't do anything wrong. They have stopped the Vikings on almost every offensive possession that they've had after they scored on their first offensive possession, which led to a 25 to 30-yard touchdown pass to number 3, Nazim Berry. The Hermits have forced 2 interceptions, including one for a pick 6 by number 23, Sean Mulhern. Vikings shut up shotgun and it fakes the handoff, and Sekur's pass is incomplete. Intended for number 3, Nazim Berry. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 10 for the Vikings. Atlantic City lining up its shotgun again. Trips right, and a lone receiver, Berry, to Sekur's left, and a lone setback. Sekur fakes the handoff to Jackson and keeps it himself. Runs around the right end for a minimum gain. It'll be 3rd down and 6 for the Vikings. Hermit's not biting here on those fakes, as the Vikings have tried fake handoffs left and right all night tonight. And the Hermits' defensive ends and linebackers have been able to stay disciplined throughout the night. In the shotgun, Sekur, he's back to pass. Scrambles to his right, runs, doesn't decide to run. He does not decide to throw, and decides to run for what looks like it could be enough for a 1st down. And it is. With a 7-8 yard run on the play, it'll bring up a fresh set of downs for the Vikings as Sekur and his offense look to go back to work. Sekur again in the shotgun. 2 receivers to his left, 2 to his right. And he has 1 running back to his right. Takes the handoff to Jackson and swings it out for a 4-yard pass to number 6, Jabril Sekur, or number 8, Michael Preston, excuse me. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 6 for the Vikings. Tackled by number 44, Joseph Konchak of the Hermits. 2nd down and 6. Trips left for the Vikings in shotgun with a lone running back to Sekur's right. Low snap. Sekur is able to handle it. Throws it off to his left side, and the pass is complete. Down to the 37-yard line of the Hermits is number 3, Nazir Berry. If you're an Atlantic City fan, you're wondering, where was this all game? Regardless, Atlantic City is now putting up a positive drive and moving downfield. In the shotgun again is Secure. 3 receivers to his right, 1 to his left. Fakes the handoff to Jackson, and Secure takes it up himself for a quarterback run up the middle. It is a positive gain as he runs for about a 6-yard gain. It'll now be a 2nd down and 4 for the Vikings. In the shotgun again. Trips right. The lone receiver to Secure's left. Gets the ball, hands the ball off to Jackson. And Jackson is stuffed up the middle after a gain of maybe 1 or 2. Tackled by a host of Hermits. And it will be 3rd down and about 3 for the Vikings. That tackle was made by the Hermits, number 52, Blake Goswick. 3rd and 3 on this first positive drive in a while for the Vikings. Secure back in the shotgun, fakes his handoff, and dumps it off to his receiver for a slant pass down the field. It will be enough for a Viking 1st down. Tackled by a host of Hermits, but caught by number 3, Nazir Berry. Seems like he's been the workhorse here for this Atlantic City Viking offense. He's the only one with a score. As 27 seconds and running are left in this 3rd quarter. Vikings are continuing to drive on the Hermits' 26-yard line. 1st and 10. Secure back to pass. Looks for his receiver downfield. And it is deflected. Great play by number 23, Sean Mulhern. That is the same man earlier with a interception for a touchdown that occurred earlier in the 2nd quarter. Although it does seem like a long time ago that occurred. It'll bring up 2nd down and 10 for the Vikings. That pass was intended for number 13, Nasir Morgan. 7 seconds remain here in this 3rd quarter. As Secure back to pass in the pocket, swarmed, decides to run and scramble to his right, to his left, up the middle. And for a positive game, he won't get the 1st down. Looks like for a 3rd down and 5, 3rd down and 6, 6-yard run. So it'll bring up a 3rd down and about 4 or 5 for the Vikings. That concludes the 3rd quarter here in Richland. Your score, the Hermits of St. Augustine Prep 39. And the Vikings, who are driving right now, have 6. You're listening to Hermits Football on the YouTube Athletics stream. We are live back here as the Vikings continue on this 3rd and 5 drive down the field. Secure scrambles for about 2 to 3 yards. And it'll bring up 4th down and about 2 or 3 for the Vikings. At the start of this 4th quarter, the score 30-96 Hermits. I'm your broadcaster, Dave Jarman. Timeout on the field, it looks like. as the Vikings want to talk this over. And we will be right back. You're listening to Hermits Football on the YouTube Athletics stream. And we are live back here in the fourth quarter on fourth down. Secure's pass to the end zone is intercepted by number 3, Xavier File. He runs up the field to the 30, the 40, the 45, the 50, and down at the Viking 45-yard line is number 3, Xavier File. Great heads-up play there by File, as he was able to read the quarterback's eyes, anticipate the pass, sit there in the end zone, put his hands up, catch the ball with both hands, not bobble it like he did earlier in the third quarter when a touchdown was thrown to him, and was able to pick up positive yards up to the Viking 47-yard line. Zamat in the offense would take over in the shotgun. Trips right. And unfortunately, they will receive an offsides penalty as Dobbs was moving his foot before the ball was snapped. It'll now be a 1st and 15 for the Hermits. Ball on their own 47-yard line. Zamat lined up in the shotgun with Dobbs to his right, and Dobbs runs up the middle, back to the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd down and 10 for the Hermits, as they are lined up in trips right. It has been a common theme all night. Trips right, trips left. Seems like that's the kind of offense Coach Mark Reardon and the Hermits want to run. And it looks like number 19, Joseph Maziri, has entered the ball game, as Dobbins' handoff is faked and Zamat scrambles around and unfortunately is tackled in the backfield. What looks like to be a 10-yard, no, like a 5-yard loss. It'll bring up a 3rd and about 16 for the Hermits. Ball on their own 47-yard line. That's not what you want to do. .9:53 and running here in this fourth quarter. The receivers, number 7, Tim Jurisic, as Dobbins gets the handoff up the middle for a minimal gain of about 2. It'll bring up 4th and 14 for the Hermits. And it'll look like they will punt, which I believe was the first time in a long time, probably since the first quarter. As Finacaro is back for the punting duties for this Hermit offense. Back deep to receive for the Vikings is number 2, Issa Muhammad. Panacaro's punt is high. Muhammad showing that he does not want the ball. And the Hermits will ultimately down the ball on the Viking 10-yard line, down by number 1, Shamir Collins.
Down at the Atlantic City 10-yard line, where the Vikings will take over. First down and 10.
Prep offense hopefully trying to put another score on the field. But instead, it looks like that the starters may sit as we see different Hermits in there. And hopefully,
On Sunday morning,
the second and third string may get some playing time.
as they take on the Colts of Christian Brothers Academy. As your defending state champion rugby 7 team. Sunday morning, 9 a.m. in Lindroth against the Colts of CBA.
So Atlantic City will take over. First and 10 on their own 10-yard line. As Sakur is lined up in the shotgun. 3 receivers to his right, 2 to his left, and an empty backfield. Sakur, back to pass, is looking, scrambling, can't find anyone, decides to run, and is ultimately stopped for only a 2-yard gain as the Hermits putting up the pressure on defense.
Tackle by Joseph Boncheck.
Looks like actually to be more than a 2-yard gain.
Gain of 4.
It'll be a 4-yard gain for the Vikings. Second down and 6 after that Sakur scramble. Sakur and his offense again lined up in the shotgun. His lone running back Jackson in the backfield. Gives the ball to Jackson, and he is stopped by a host of Hermits. Not after a gain of about 2. Joseph Konchak there on the tackle. It'll bring up a 3rd and 3 for the Vikings. 3rd and 4. Excuse me. So Kerr in the shotgun again. 3 receivers to his left. 1 Nazir Berry to the right. Slings it over to the left, and it is intercepted again by Xavier File, and he will score for a Hermit touchdown. 2 interceptions for File on the night, as this one looks like a W in the books for the Hermits. Fonicaro for the extra point, trying to redeem himself earlier from today. Ball is spotted, the kick is away. The ball is through the uprights and good. So with the extra point made, Fonicaro is now 4 for 6. And the Hermits take a commanding 40-point lead, 46-6. 7:33 left in this fourth quarter. We will be pausing for a brief moment. You're listening to Hermits Football on the YouTube Athletic Stream. We are back live in Richland Fonicaro kicks the ball off. And back to receive for Atlantic City. Fumbles the ball. Number 6, Jabril Sakur. And Sakur will return it for a minimal gain. The Vikings will set up shop. 1st and 10. Ball on their own 19-yard line. Or 16. Same difference, I guess. For the remainder of the game, after that pick six, it's all about playing for pride. It looks like there are not a lot of new faces on this Hermit defense. Sakur takes the snap in shotgun, runs the Brown on the left side, and he's tackled for a loss. That tackle by number 12, Sincere Ray. As we can overhear cheers in this Hermit crowd. That was a loss of 2. It will bring up 2nd down and 12 for the Vikings. Sakur in the shotgun, with most likely his brother Sakur in the backfield. Low snap, rolls out to his right, throws to his right to no one. Pass looked like it was intended for number 2, Issa Muhammad. That pass falls incomplete. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 12 for the Vikings.
3rd down and 12.
And the clock continues to run. 5:24 and running here in this 4th quarter. Sakur in the shotgun with his brother Sakur in the backfield. Trips right, lone receiver to his left. Looking for his receiver, number 3, Nasir Berry downfield. And great defense there by Sincere Ray. He was covering Nazim Berry like white on rice. And it will be a 4th down, or 3rd down, and 12 for the Vikings. But there was a flag on the play. Let's see what the flag is. Looks like a pass interference on that play. It'll set up a new set of downs and new life for the Vikings. With 4:40 running here in this 4th quarter. I guess that was a gift from God. Sakur in his offense. 2 receivers to his right, 2 to his left, and his brother Sakur in the backfield. Runs to his right. Tries to pitch it, but is tackled by a host of Hermits led by number 61, Giannis Ballas. There on the stop. That was a loss of 2 yards on the play. It'll bring up 2nd down and 12 for the Vikings. Sakur takes the snap, fakes the ball, handoff to his brother, and keeps it himself. And it'll be a 3rd down and 10, pick of about 2 or 3 yards. Number 52, Blake Gossick on the tackle. Bring up 3rd down and 8 after a gain of 4 yards on that scramble. Sakur lined up in the shotgun with trips to his right. His brother Sakur lined up next to him in the backfield. And his lone receiver on to his left. Sakur back to pass. Looking, slings it out to his receiver, Nasir Berry. And Nasir Berry will fight for a 1st down after he's tackled by a host of Hermits. Despite the score, the Vikings have been showing that they've been playing hard all game, and they are not going down without a fight. That 13-yard pass play will give them a new set of downs. 1st and 10 for the Vikings, ball on the 45-yard line. Sakura back to pass. Shotgun. Intended for Nasir Berry. And a good stick there by number 12, Sincere Ray. Ray there with the good defense. With a big stick right there. And it'll bring up 2nd down and 10 for the Hermits. For the Vikings, excuse me. Clock continues to run. 2:19 in running. Your score, 46-6 Hermits over the Vikings. Remind you, you're listening to Hermits Football. And I'm your broadcaster, Dave Jarman. Sakura in the shotgun. 2 receivers to his right, 2 to his left. Sakura back to pass, fakes, loads the ball downfield for Nasir Berry. He beats both defenders, and he will score. A long pass play, a 55-yard touchdown pass. Nasir Berry showing that effort all game, and his effort on this drive is paid off with his touchdown score. With those 6 points, it'll be 46-12 awaiting this Atlantic City extra point. Nassim Danger Foley attempting the point after, but it's a fake, and the 2-point conversion is successful as Sakura's pass is complete to number 6 to Jabril Sakura.
1 minute 50 seconds remaining in the ball game.
With 1:50 remaining in this ball game, and that 2-point conversion successful, your score 46-14, the Hermits over the Vikings. We will be pausing for a quick break here with Hermits Football. You are looking live down here at Richland. As the Hermits are back to receive, you have number 5, Zeke Ennis, number 1, Shamir Collins, and number 29, Kyle Dobbins back to receive for the Hermits. As Atlantic City looks to kick this ball off, it is a squib kick, handled by Ennis at the 10, the 20. Makes a couple moves, but is ultimately stopped and pushed back at the 20-yard line. He'll get the forward progress on the return. On the 25-yard line, the Hermits will set up their offense with 1:42 remaining with a 32-point lead. Looking to be very conservative here. And will we have a quarterback change? No, we do not. Zamat sets up in the shotgun with Dobbins, his lone running back, behind him. And trips right. Dobbins with the handoff of the middle. Gain of about 2. But it's what the Hermits want to do to continue this clock to run and walk out with this victory as soon as possible. Is overall a great offensive night for the Hermits. After a slow start in the first quarter, turning the ball over on downs on their first 2 drives, they were able to have their offense explode with deep passes to Zeke Ennis, Kyle Dobbins runs for touchdowns, and the Sean Mulhern interception, pick six in the second quarter gave the offense life and some motivation. As True Robinson is on the carry, runs around the right side for a minimal gain. It'll bring up third, maybe 8.5 for the Hermits. 40 seconds remaining. The Hermits will probably run one more play, and then they run out the clock. The Hermits will move to 2-0 as the Hermits set up in the V formation. And Zermatt with the knee. And that'll do it. The Hermits will move to 2-0 and take on South Jersey Public Perennial Power, the Williamstown Braves. They will have a lot of work to do this week, but they will celebrate this victory for the rest of tonight. You have been listening to Hermits Football on the YouTube Athletics stream. I'm Dave Jarman with your final score. The Hermits of St. Augustine Prep, 46, and the Vikings of Atlantic City, 14. Good night, everybody, and thank you for watching the Hermits Football on the Athletics stream. Take care.